Fans, Briz Boys podcast today. Second game recap of the year and final exhibition recap. Next week, I can stop saying take with a grain of salt and keep in mind so much, but definitely some things to take away from tonight's exhibition against St. Norbert. I've always called it St. Norbert, but St. Norbert College, another Division III program. But you can definitely take some things away from these scrimmages. Just got to be careful and not get carried away. Notre Dame wins by a lot of points. I'll have the stats up in a minute. It's about a minute left in the game when I start this, just so I can get it out earlier. Not a whole lot happens with walk-ons and into the bench guys in the game with a minute left. I'd love to see them play, but just them being in the game at this time doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. So gonna get started now. I thought Notre Dame played pretty well overall. St. Norbert's a lot better than Nazareth College by the looks of it. Seemed to be giving Notre Dame some trouble early. Came out of the gate hot and just gave them a little bit of trouble. Couldn't get going offensively early, but I don't know. I think that's more of a St. Norbert thing. I don't think they were shooting well. I think Notre Dame was giving them good looks, but overall, I think Notre Dame's defense looked pretty well. Looked pretty good today. Played pretty well. Just got to see that against a real team. Like I said on Twitter, well, they're a real team. That's a pretty good Division III team, but got to see it against a high-level Division I opponent. Maybe even Cal State Northridge won't show us much, but early on, Paul Atkinson and Cormac Ryan got Notre Dame started. Cormac really got cold as the game went on, but early was hitting shots. I think Cormac's going to finish with 8 points. Atkinson's probably going to finish in double figures. I think Atkinson played pretty well, did a little bit of everything, especially defensively. Had a decent night, it seemed. Started to seems like he's learning how to play with these guys a little more. They weren't really hitting him down low, but Atkinson was still finding ways to make impact on the game and kind of flow through Notre Dame's offense. They were doubling him in the post a little bit, especially early. I'm not sure if that continued because I couldn't watch, but Atkinson seemed like he was decent all around, even if he didn't put up the numbers he did last week. I think he's going to be a guy who, when they need him to score a lot, he's going to score a lot. But nights like tonight when the guards are going, like Prentice and Trey were going tonight, I'll talk about that in a second. I think Atkinson's a guy that you don't really need a whole lot. I mean, you're still going to need him to score and play well, but I think he's going to be more of a safety blanket than anything offensively, even though he might be their best scorer offensively. He had an early block and just really seemed – what I take away from this with him is it seemed like he really learned how to play with Nate a little more recently. They kind of helped each other out on the glass. Played a little two-man game, which we haven't seen with Notre Dame's bigs in a little bit. Saw it a little bit with Juwan and Nate, and then a little bit with Juwan and Mooney. But Nate and Atkinson kind of meshing and learning how to play together is definitely important, considering the caliber of both of them and how they're going to have to kind of go out of their way to get involved in Notre Dame's guard-heavy offense. So I thought that was something good to see. Atkinson didn't have a great stat line, I assume, but definitely important to have him have a good game. I'll get his stats in a minute and read off kind of everything. But overall, I thought he played pretty well. Prentice Hub and Trey Wirtz played really well. Trey Wirtz shot the heck out of the ball. Prentice Hub did too. I kind of wish Hub went to the basket more, but it's nitpicking at this point. I thought he did a really nice job kind of running him through the offense and getting things going. I got the stats. Prentice Hub, 5 for 9 from the field, 4 from 7 for 3. Is that 4 assists? Yeah. 14 points, was Notre Dame's second leading scorer. Paul Atkinson actually went for 15 and 9. So even in a game where I thought he was kind of quiet, still had a nice outing and played well. I just hope to see him continue to get involved against good teams. I didn't think he was utilized as much as he should have been tonight, but it's all good. He didn't play bad at all, and Notre Dame's guards were working tonight. Trey Wirtz also, I wanted to shout out, 15 points, tied with Atkinson for the leading scorer. Shot 5 for 7 from 3, but that's also what he shot from the field. So like to see Trey attack more. He was more just a catch and shoot guy, and I think offensively he has more potential than that. But he played really well tonight. Just didn't seem like he missed much. Notre Dame had, what's it called? Notre Dame had 7 guys play near 20 minutes tonight. So I'm going to say they're going to go 7, and then a guy like Elijah Taylor, who played 7 minutes. I think he'll play a little bit more in the season when the matchup is right. But I think their 8 is going to be the 7, and then they're going to play matchups with Taylor, Zona, JR, Tony, Matt, whatever, towards the end of the rotation, and we'll see kind of how the end of the rotation shapes out. So thought overall Notre Dame was good tonight. Blake Wesley, I thought had the worst night out of any of the 7, and just couldn't get shots to fall really. But want to talk about Blake pushing the pace a little bit, and I heard he did some really good things defensively. It seemed like he was getting praised every couple possessions for his defensive work. So really like what I saw from Blake or heard from Blake. Just couldn't really get things going on offense, but he really did things with purpose tonight, which I like to see, even if he didn't score a whole lot. Played point guard for a couple possessions, which I was kind of hoping to see, which with words back that they actually view Blake as a combo guard and not just as a straight up wing, which I kind of viewed him as until somewhat recently. I just think that every time Blake touches the ball on offense, something's in the works. Like a lot of the time you'll see a guy and then he's just kind of waiting for cutters or something. But when Blake gets the ball in his hands, I feel like he's either trying to get in transition, pushing the tempo after he gets a rebound. Notre Dame posted a video of him pushing the pace and finding Trey Wirtz in transition, which is, I think, where Blake is best at is transition. But even in half-court offense, I think Blake Wesley does a nice job just making things happen. Even if he didn't shoot the ball all tonight, 1 for 9, which definitely is not ideal. I still think there's a lot to like there. I wish I would have been able to see that, but seems like there's a lot to like with Blake, regardless of how he shot the ball. I thought Notre Dame's offense in general looked really good tonight. The ball was just kept moving. That's a big testament to Prentice Hub and maybe even Cormac Ryan a little bit. Just how the ball was moving. Guys were playing unselfish, getting other guys involved. Notre Dame, as usual, beat you in waves. Hub had 14. Ryan had 8. Should have had a lot more. Didn't shoot the ball well tonight. Didn't have a great night. 3 for 12, 2 for 8 from 3. And Nate also didn't have a good night at all. 2 for 9 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3. That's one of the worst games I've seen Nate play. So hopefully he can get that going. I'm not super concerned about it at all. Nate's going to do Nate things when we get to the regular season. He's going to go through maybe a slump, but Nate's going to be Nate at some point this regular season and hopefully the postseason as well. Paul Atkinson had 15. Goodwin had 13. Really quiet 13, but love to see that from Dane Goodwin scoring in double figures. Hopefully he can get off to another nice start this year. And then Trey Wirtz, like I mentioned earlier, played well. Just got the offense moving. Nobody else could really get things going early. But Trey Wirtz was exactly what I wanted Trey Wirtz to be. So my standouts for this game is going to be Trey Wirtz, Prentice Hub, Paul Atkinson, and probably Dane Goodwin too. All guys who had really good nights. I think Cormac, if he shot a normal Cormac percentage, would have had 14, 15 points probably, but just couldn't really get anything to go tonight. I really hope that that momentum does not continue and that Cormac can really get it going towards the start of the season because Notre Dame needs him badly. I want to talk about the end of the bench a little bit too before I hop off. I thought they should have played more at some point in the exhibition season. I get that Bray wants to play starters, and I don't really have a problem with how he did it. But just selfishly, I wish that we saw more of Zona, Sanders, even JR, who played a little bit. My dog is there. But I just thought Notre Dame probably should have had a little bit more rotational flexibility in a game that doesn't matter and kind of use it as an evaluation period more than just a get-right game. Even if that's for 10 minutes in the second half where you just play them. Having how many minutes did Tony Sanders play? Matt Zona played 4 minutes. Elijah Morgan played 4 minutes. Tony Sanders played 4 minutes. and JR played 7th. I'd like to see a little bit more than that for those guys, just so they can get acclimated to playing at the pavilion and kind of getting in the flow of things. But overall, pretty happy with how the scrimmages went. I think most years we are pretty happy with how the scrimmages went. Thought Notre Dame looked good defensively. Let's hope that can continue. Offense flowed well. Prentice Hub had a nice game tonight. Trey Words, Paul Atkinson was phenomenal in the preseason. So if Notre Dame could keep up a lot of the things we saw this preseason, maybe improve on a little bit, like Nate's going to be Nate at some point. Cormac Ryan hopefully is more consistent than he was in the exhibition games. But if Cormac Ryan and Nate can be as good as we know they can be, and then the other guys can play like they did tonight, Blake Wesley can play like he did in the first exhibition, Notre Dame is a really, really good team. So that's all I really have for the second exhibition game. Thought I went over it pretty well, and can't wait for – I won't be able to do the Cal State Northridge game post-game, but we'll do a pregame show this week and kind of talk about the outlook of Notre Dame season a little more. For now, check out our season preview if you haven't, if you want to hear more about Notre Dame in general, or if you didn't get some of the references I made to last week, check out our post-game show from last week. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go Irish, and I will see you later this week with Trevor as we preview Notre Dame's first game of the season and Notre Dame's season in general. So thank you guys for watching. Go Irish. Peace.